Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Laid Back Life podcast, where we talk about how to love life, entrepreneurship, and improve daily. I'm your host, Jordan Ostroff. Joining me today, good friend and phenomenally knowledgeable and successful digital marketer for law firms, Kevin Daisey. Kevin is the award-winning digital marketer entrepreneur who co-founded Array Digital and serves as its chief marketing officer, helping law firms grow through digital strategy, SEO, and website-focused marketing. He also hosts the Managing Partners podcast. Fantastic. Has a ton of great guests. I've been on it, so you want to check out the other episodes for the great guests. But he interviews law firm owners and legal industry experts around the country about leadership, operations, intake, finance, sales, marketing, and so much more. And he's just a genuinely awesome guy. So I'm excited to have you today, man.
Hey man, I appreciate you having me, and the kind words, and just excited to just chat and share and hopefully we help some folks out.
Beautiful. So Kevin and I were talking for a little bit before this, and actually, let me shout out to our previous episode because it was my wife on. My
Oh,
wife and I got to talk about how to find a great spouse, what being a great partner, how that helps you with a great life. That'll come out a little bit before Valentine's Day, so giving everybody a chance to do something nice for their significant other. That was last week. So now I'm back here with not my wife, although Kevin and I are matching better than my wife and I. We did not dress to match.
I did my best, and it looks like it worked out pretty good. So,
Yeah, nailed
and
it.
I love meeting your wife when we hung out in Nashville this past fall for Max LawCon. So that was
Yeah,
really fun.
my much better half. Um,
For sure.
all right, so the thing that Kevin and I were talking about was like, what does do himself, the success he's had with his company, as most successful clients have in common? And Kevin, you were talking about like they have a really good idea of what a great life is, what success is for them, what happiness is. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, I thought it was a great question that Jordan uh, posed, and yeah, just and he also kind of asked me like, how does that kind of pair in with like marketing of a law firm and why is it important? And so I had a lot of thoughts on it. And you're talking to lots of folks, me, myself owning lots of different companies and over the years, and what's different about our business now versus other situations. Same with law firms that I talk to. And the ones that I talk to that are the happiest, most successful, everything seems to kind of go their way. They took the time to figure out what they want and what they want their firm to be, and what what guidelines to put in place, core values, right? They took time to do those exercises that I used to think were kind of like fluffy, kind of things that are like, I don't need to do that crap. They take the time to do that stuff because that's going to, you be a gatekeeper for anyone coming into the firm. Like, what kind of people should be working here? What values do they have? And if they don't align with what I want as a leader, then really the firm's going to kind of go off and become whatever it wants to become. And so, as a leader, an owner, you establish, hey, this is the life I want. These are the things that I care about. I want time off. I want to do vacations. I want time with my family. If that's what you want, that becomes part of your culture of your firm. And you got to put some effort into that. You can't just hope that you start a company and you get that time later or you get to do those things later because you will not 100% get the
Yeah.
the opportunities for that stuff. People will take your time, the firm will soak it up, and you'll be working on things that you didn't plan on. And then your people won't, have that either because again, that's not of value. Then just getting the work done is the main priority. So,
I want to dive in that a little bit deeper. First, okay, so my favorite example of this comes from Tylenol in the 80s, or just from Johnson and Johnson. They had that person that like put the poison on Tylenol and some people passed away. And so like Tylenol is sitting there like, what do we do? Do we recall everything of Tylenol across the entire country, just in Chicago? Like, what should we do? They actually went back to like the founding documents of Johnson and Johnson that was like at that point, I think 100 years old, 80
yeah.
years old, something like that. And it said like, we're always going to put people first. like people come before profits. Like, well, what does that look like? That looks like bringing back every single Tylenol pill in the entire country. Come to find out, it was this one person who tampered with it, who had nothing to do with Johnson and Johnson, who did it aftermarket, like the whole thing. But like they used that, and I wrote about this in my book about a week before the Trump administration had the whole Tylenol autism thing for that period of time. But I still love this example, right? Like I like the concept of going back to these documents. I'm curious, like, do you have a more timely example that you've done for yourself or seen for your clients?
Um, I mean, yeah, with us, we're technically now we're as a company in total, I think we're like 64 full-time people, right? So it's quite a lot of
Wow.
folks, which seems ridiculous to me. That I don't even get to meet everyone, and or it takes time for me to actually say hi or meet everyone. So we've run a lot, so these things are even more important. And so I think for us, it's we're constantly having to work at this, right? So it's not like, okay, we set those things in place, everything's fine. We have to constantly bring them back up. We have to remind our team every single month at company meetings, and we use core values every day, actually, in like a kind of like a gamified thing that we do here, where our team members can give points with a hashtag of a core value to assign that point, and then we have cash bonuses every single month, and we announce the winners and all that kind of stuff. So they're used every day. And so I
What
think it's
are some
important.
of your core values?
Yeah, we have quality. So this is like the work product that we work that goes out the door has to be quality. And if you see someone doing something that you believe is not quality, you need to say something. We have passion. If you're not passionate about what you do, you shouldn't be here. That's it. You shouldn't be in the position if you don't like the work that you're doing. So they have to have passion. We have urgency. We act with urgency. If a client needs something done, we get it done as fast as possible. If it's something that don't need to be done right away, but you have extra time, get it done early. That's a big thing for us here. Time to value, right? It's a big thing. Um, we have winning. So winning mindset, new sales, we celebrate. I've had teams where you get new sales and the operations team's like, oh, that's more
More
work for
work.
us.
Ugh. Yeah.
Like, no, no, no. We bring on new clients here. We grow. This is how we operate. So we celebrate those things. Um, so yeah, there's some of our core values, and
And I love so I'm anal, but in a fun way, right? So the best part that I have found for AI and core values is you can make whatever freaking acronym you want because it will play all the synonyms. So like my company, we have five core values. It spells out Carpe because we're Carpe Diem Consulting. So it's a
oh,
C, an
sweet.
A,
I
an
love
R, a
that.
P, and an E. Right. And it was amazing to me because I didn't have to fake it, right? Like I told ChatGPT, like these are the eight things that are super important to me for a company.
Mm,
What can we come up with? And it combined three of them into, whatever, six of them together to end up with five and had it spell out Carpe. So we have communication is key, achieve as a team, provide the best experience possible, results matter, and every day we get better. And it
love
just
it.
nailed it. But like the beauty of it is it's memorable from the standpoint of the acronym without I mean, it's cheesy, but I didn't have to like fake the acronym. I had, I put what I wanted and AI spit me back out something
That's
that
a
made
really
sense.
good. That's a cool tip right there because I think people struggle with, well, what are all the values? And ours changed a lot for a while until we got them locked in. And I
Yeah.
forgot to mention the most important one here is transparency. Um, we're big on that in our space in marketing. It's kind of a known thing out there with, is my agency being upfront with me? Are they telling the truth? Everything looks always up and to the right and good. So, transparency is a big one for us. But I wonder what acronym I can make out of ours. I'm going to run that exercise right after
Drop
this.
it in and see, right? And I think the important part about the business core values are they need to reflect your own core values, right? Like my wife and I talk all the time about, well, talk all the time, but talk all the time about how important good communication is, right?
Yeah.
I'm always going to share as much praise as I can. I don't want to do anything that I'm terrible at myself. I want us to work together as a team. I read 150 plus books a year. I'm trying to get better. All those things. And I think the more that they are the truly the owner, I think the easier it is for them to trickle down and to have people follow. Like you are leading by
100%.
example.
100%. And your the ultimate goal, obviously we're talking about the life you want to lead and being able to do those things. Your business has to be built a certain way to be able to allow those things and allow your people to also have that freedom and time off. Um, if if someone hires or wants to work here, they're looking up to me or my business partners. They're looking at the leadership. Um, and do they want to work here? This is a career for them. Do they see a place where they can grow and thrive and all the things that they want? All their goals need to fit inside our business model, right? And so if they can see that, then they get mental ownership, not physical ownership, but they get mental ownership, which then they protect your culture. They stop people from coming in the door that aren't a good fit. And then you create something amazing where, hey, that person looks really good. We should hire them. And they go, no, we had a bad feeling. This didn't look right. And you're like, oh, okay. Let them do the hiring. Let them protect the culture because they live inside that culture. And so once you create that kind of, environment, you get a bench of people that want to work here. Like we have people lined up that go, hey, if you guys are ever hiring, I want to work there. And that's what you want to create. And with your law firms, you could do that. Imagine it easy to find an attorney, associate attorney with this experience, an associate attorney with 4 years experience, whatever. It's easy. And I hear lawyers all the time going, yeah, we can't hire, we can't find anybody. Maybe you need to look under the hood and figure out why.
There comes a time in most firm owners' life where they're ready to make that switch, where it's no longer about survival. It's about how to thrive. It's about how to have the practice they've always dreamed of and the life that they've wanted to live forever. That's what I help people do. I've done it myself, and I've worked with dozens, if not hundreds of other firms to help them implement similar systems. So if you're tired of doing everything and not knowing your numbers and having no idea where your next case will come from and worrying about how to make payroll, and you want to get over those things, click the link below and let's reach out to see how we can work together to help you achieve those goals.
You know Victor Medina? He's out of New Jersey.
I'm
Does
pretty sure
estate
that sounds
planning
familiar.
and financial services.
It sounds familiar.
All right.
It sounds very familiar.
If not,
Sorry,
I need to
Victor,
connect
if
the
I
two of
can't
you.
remember you.
He'll be a great guest. But he talks about having a transformational product, right? Like you have an offering that is so crazy that you can't be price shopped. And it sounds ridiculous until you have that moment where it clicks. Like, hey, we're gonna do these 5 things completely different from everybody else, or 3 of them different, 2 of them this way, whatever. Like, so that we have a truly unique offering. It just becomes amazing. And then when that's an offering that's tied into your core values, that's tied into what makes the owner of the business unique, that makes all of us listen to this who we are, it's that much better.
100%. And you're back to kind of how it ties in with marketing. Like imagine, if people interact with every single person on your team and they're like blown away every time, like, holy crap. Like you're not just a facade of a business with like one A player and then everyone else just kind of like isn't really fun to talk to or doesn't get the job done or drops a lot of balls or your process is shaky. But instead it's like A player, A player, A player, A player. Holy crap. I want to work with this team and I want to tell everyone else. And then they're marketing for you. They're writing you 5-star reviews. They're doing testimonial videos. They thank you. And by the way, they're paying you, right? So um that's the
Well, and I think
ultimate goal.
that's the beauty. The Steve Jobs has that great quote. A players want to play with other A players. B players want to hire C players.
That's a good one. I like that.
It's so
Yeah.
true though. Like it amazes me, my first job I was a prosecutor, and Jeff Ashton from the Casey Anthony case took over as the prosecutor and changed how they hired. So instead of just promoting people based solely on seniority up until a certain point, they wanted to like promote the best people. And oh my God, the poop storm that created out of everybody who was due for the next promotion but had not put in the effort to get it. It was amazing, So like my trial partner was the first one promoted on that new system, and so I went to her and was like, "Hey, what'd you do? Great, now I know what to do to get the next promotion instead of having to wait my turn for 8 months, 14 months, 16 months, as they went through the numbers." But the B players were mad that or the C players or whatever they were mad that it was not going to be their turn.
Yeah, I was talking to my business partner Eric the other day, and we're just like talking about A players and B players. Like, well, why should we even consider a B player? C's are definitely not getting
Right.
in or out, but um, like so it's like we're at the point where it's like we don't even want B's in the door. Like, so why not always go for A's? And that's always served us well when we don't have the budget to hire for this, but man, they really on a different level, and you make that hire, and it's always paid off for us when we do that. Cultural fit first, skills and things second, but yeah, so
But see,
why even have a B
oh,
player at all?
but see, I take the same look at my life, like from a friend standpoint, from a networking standpoint. Why am I networking with B players? It amazes me. Like I think we all have that friend who we think we like, but if we think about it, they're kind of toxic, and we feel bad every time I hang out with them. Like at moving halfway across the country was a really easy way to drop that person, and I didn't realize until then, right? So now, like as I go back through my Orlando people, I'm like, oh my God, like I miss so and so, I miss so and so, I miss so and so. Like, oh, I don't miss this person. Like I want, and then I think through it. I'm like, oh, because I think they were like a B friend, or a C friend or whatever.
Or
Um,
the terrorist, right? That's the I guess that can be like a C player, but it's someone that's just toxic to in your business to everyone,
yeah.
to the culture.
Well, but that's why I think the more that we demand out of ourselves, the more we can ask for out of our life, and the more we can ask out of our employees because we're leading by example. Like if you're not going to roll up your sleeves and put in extra effort, why should anybody else? But at the same time, if you're going to roll up your sleeves and put in extra effort, everybody else better be supporting you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're enabling bad behavior.
Yeah, and and giving promotions and stuff based on time. I've been here longer. We've promoted people from like massive increases in pay and opportunity in short amounts of time, within a year or less, or it has nothing to do with time. It's what do we see that they're capable of? What are they taking on and challenged themselves? And it's clear and obvious that they are a leader and they are going to do big things. You reward those people quick because they're going to leave if not. So if you have like a promotion track that has a time-based thing, like you're literally setting yourself up for failure, and they're going to go find somewhere else that will, promote them to that next level. So, and people do that. They they jump to job, and their pay goes up. I was getting 80 here. I'm in the next job. I'm going to get 90. Leave there a year or two later. I get 100. So it's you don't want to lose A players. You want to keep them there, right? So another thought too, when I hear law firms saying, "Yeah, well, we had to settle with this one person. We just can't find anybody, so we had to settle with this one person." You will continue to settle with those people unless you get a great culture going and you lead by example. You have core values. That's when you start to not. You don't have to start compromising.
Well, and that's been, I think, my favorite thing about so many more firms going remote. Like you have expanded your talent pool.
Yeah, they don't have
And
to live in those 10 square miles. You know what I mean?
right. I mean, if you're when you're tapping into that correctly, and look, I've seen firms that are hiring lawyers in other countries for, a fraction of the cost who are phenomenal litigators, who are phenomenal
Yeah.
motion practice people, like whatever it is that they need. It's just been awesome to see like the ability to tap into that amount of talent versus having everybody move to Silicon Valley because everybody else in Silicon Valley is trying to do a startup and you'll meet each other. Like now we have LinkedIn, we have the internet, we have all these ways to meet amazing people.
Yeah, I know a lot of good firms that are completely remote. Divorce firms, you name it. Like it's outside the norm, right? You think, oh, maybe a startup business firm could be remote. No, like all all firms can be remote, and we're I'm remote. I have people all around all the country, Orlando and Texas, and you name it. And we can find the best people, no matter what, no matter where they are, and that could be out of the country too. So, but it doesn't matter. It's culture and a player, and then again the skill or what they're doing is really secondary because we can teach that. But And we also like autonomy. Like, hey, if you want to move maybe into a different role or a different direction or different team, like we encourage that, but we want them to kind of bring that up to us. Hey, I know I've been doing this. I love it. It's good, but I would really love to, do this over there. I'd love to learn this instead. And sometimes that can be frowned upon. Like, imagine a lawyer saying, hey, I know I'm doing all the PI work here, but I just really have a passion for divorce work.
Right.
We only have one divorce attorney. Like, sometimes it can be like, hey, no, stay in your lane. We need you here. And that might be fine, but we have some of that autonomy here, which I think people raise their hands and say, hey, I want to go do this. I want to lead this team over here. I want to start this new service that I have experience in. And we just did this recently. We added PR, like traditional PR. So interviews, podcasting, TV, all that kind of stuff. We've never done that. We've always been digital. We've always stayed away from that stuff. But it's just a new thing that we're excited about. But our team members, brought that to fruition.
I love it. Well, and that's the beauty of A players, right? Like when they want that raise, they will increase the value that they're providing. They will look at the opportunities. They will keep an eye open for where those opportunities are to create the position they want to grow into, to create the thing for their team to grow, to push these things forward.
Well, years ago when we have a meeting where it's like just me or my partner going, all right, guys, we're going to do this. We just went to a conference. We learned this. We're going to do this. And then everyone, okay. And they're taking notes and that's it. Versus,
Getting buy-in from everybody.
you're sitting back and they're just like throwing out
Oh,
ideas and they have this and that. And you're just like, oh, wow, this is awesome to watch happen. And, that's just so cool to see like people grow and offer up ideas and be passionate about the success of the company. Like they're there to contribute.
all right. I want to dive deeper on that. Before we jump into that, though, I want to talk about if you are watching this live, it's as it first came out, it's on Tuesday. This Friday, my newsletter is the 6 things you need to change anything. So there's a book called Change Anything that outlines the framework with 6 different things you have to have in place for the purpose of change. We're going to actually do a 7-week series, first on all 6, and then I'm going to give you the next 6 weeks, one each, based upon my 2026 weight loss journey, hopefully over those 6 weeks and how everything is going. That being said, Kevin, you talked about the swap from like the top down management to that more like bottom up ideas and information. When does that happen? Is that something that is an early thing in businesses? Does the owner need to put this good foundation in place and then the team builds upon it? Like, where do you see that? When do you see that being an option for companies to start getting that better feedback from the frontline people?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was in the beginning. It depends on how you start. I got firms that are clients that started brand new with like 2 or 3 partners. They got some good funding and they just started brand new. Boom. So you got a couple people, partners with different responsibilities. Maybe they hire a few people right out the gate. With those, I think they have the opportunity to do these things up front, put in core values and get with the team that they're hiring first and say, hey, here's what we're trying to build here. They can kind of start faster. If you're a solo that starts and you got some years to kind of get to where you can hire an assistant and then you got to hire a paralegal and maybe bring an associate. It's just you, right? So it's easy to kind of get stuck in you're making decisions, you're doing everything. So I think delegating and letting go as soon as you can and making sure you have the right people in your team. Like maybe if it's just you and an admin assistant. Is that admin assistant excited? Are they passionate? They want to be there. Do they have their own ideas? Ask them. So I think as early as you can start it, to say, hey, I think we should do this, but hey, what do you think? It still might be your decision. They might not be able to, fully contribute at that point to things that you might actually do or implement. But you need to kind of keep that door open. And for me, as many people as we have now, we have layers of management or directors and stuff like that. And so now it's more of we have weekly management meetings where they're all involved in all the decisions. We talk about them openly. Of course, we can always override or veto or whatever, but it's an open discussion every single week on the top things that we're trying to accomplish in the business, and everyone gets assigned, who's going to handle that. Hey, we decided this as a group. Cool. All right, that's going to be Jordan. So you'll get an email the next day. All right, Jordan, you're tackling this issue, and you own this, right? So that's kind of how we do it now. So we used to do just decisions behind closed doors and let everyone know what was going to be done. That's never gone well. It's never been received well. The team will start to resent you and just not feel part of the team. So
168 hours. That's what all of us have every week. It's interesting to me how many times I talk to firm owners who are struggling to do more, to make more marketing efforts, have more lunches, handle more cases, but ultimately none of us are living a shorter day where we can just create more time. So how do we do that as a business? We can scale up time by hiring more people. We finally created an awesome system, our complete hiring process. We're going to share with you how to incorporate AI and other technology into the hiring process to make sure that you have the best chance to hire the right person. So if that's something you struggle with, click the link below, check out our complete hiring process, and let's get your law firm back on track.
Well, and it's interesting because obviously, like with over 60 people, you're talking about these multiple layers. And so I think that, like, at some point, I think there is unless you are Google, right? Like that brand new person, it's weird for them to like address the CEO directly. But I guess Google has those like Friday presentations or whatever it was. Um, but at least having like, okay, you've got the owners, you've got this level of management, maybe there's another level and there's frontline. And as long as people can like keep pushing these ideas up at least one layer, if not two layers, I think
yeah,
a lot of times you end up hearing the best things in a way where like the person's okay talking to their manager about it, but would be freaked out talking to the CEO that they haven't spoken to since they were first hired. Like you need a
yeah, that's a
way
good
to
point.
have the comfort.
Yeah, well, so another thing we do is we do NPS. So it's NPS score, where every time we have a meeting or a company meeting or whatever, every month we ask our employees to rate the company
Oh,
that we work for. So we get feedback from company meetings. Hey, we had a company meeting with this agenda over this much time. We had a speaker come in. We had all those things, and they just give us the feedback. And then the first couple we got killed. Like they didn't like it. It wasn't good use of their time. And then we
but
slowly got it
but
to be
like
where,
I'm honored they felt comfortable to be honest.
yeah,
How many companies out there have terrible meetings, but the employees are like, "That was great, boss. Like, good job, pat on the back," and then you just keep doing the same shit because you don't know any different.
yeah, yeah. And they're anonymous, I'm pretty sure. So it's not like, hey, Jordan said that meeting sucked. So that way they feel like they can say what they need to say.
Okay.
Um, and then we say, hey guys, we heard you, and we literally show like the score we got and like what the feedback was, and we don't know who, we don't point them out, and then we say we're changing the next one because you said all this stuff, and we appreciate that. Because if we're just having meetings that they don't think so, if they think it's a waste of their time, that means they're looking out for us because they're spending time on shit they don't need to be doing, which is perfect. And we also do that audits like that too. What are things that you're doing that you should not be doing? And we do this often. And you'll have our best people like literally going, yeah, here's all this crap I do that I shouldn't be doing. Cool, let's get it off your plate. We have admin
Yeah.
assistants, whatever. And it always builds back up. You can do that, and then 6 months to go by and go, oh crap, why am I sending these emails out? Why am I doing this? And we just naturally just take over things, right? So I think that's a delegation issue. Like you'll delegate. It's not a one-time thing. You get a new project, and next thing you know, why is the owner working on that? Because I was interested, and it sounds cool, and yeah, I shouldn't be doing that.
Well, but it's always easy to add more. So like we need every company and every life. Like I have a personal meeting about this too. What can I stop doing? What is no longer getting me where I want to go? What can I delegate to somebody else? What can I automate somewhere else? What can I get rid of altogether? Because it's easy to add. We added 6 new projects, and now this person's doing a completely different job instead of looking at what's coming off of their plate to make room for it.
It's also easy to get all these. You're all excited, and all these projects come out, and then you find out. how many people it's affected that's like crushing their day. And you're like, oh shit, well, how'd that happen? Well, because we decided that we were going to do this. Oh, and so it's, you got to look at how's it impacting everybody. And then, so you're constantly trying to just improve the life and the experience of your people that are trying, if you have the right people, trying to get us where we're trying to go, our goals,
Right.
which builds and creates the life that you want as an owner. It also helps build the life that they want as an employee. So, and kind
So
of,
let's talk more about that. Like, how do we do this in a way that is fair, right? Because like it's one thing for the owner to want to have this many hours I work and this much flexibility, but like how do we start trickling those things down to make sure that the team is not resentful of that, but is appreciative of the fact that it is truly the whole office culture?
sure. Well, a couple things that we've done. So for one, we're unlimited paid time off. We don't track it. You don't have, 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever. It's literally unlimited, which means you need off, take off. It comes back to, is the work done? Do you have tasks that are overdue or missing work? Get your stuff done. Talk to your manager. Say, hey, I need to take off next week for 2 days. No problem. It'll be approved every single time. Never has not been approved for anybody. Just get your stuff done or get someone to help you out. And that's kind of what we built here. So it's really no one's tracking time or how valuable it is. We used to do time tracking and PTO, and people would be like, "Ooh, I have $3,000 worth of paid time off," and they would use it as like a savings account. And if they left the company, they like, "Ooh, I cash out, my PTO," but they would never take off.
Right.
I'm burned out. Well, they don't want to take off because they don't want to dip into their time. Unlimited time off. I think our people actually take off probably less, but they take off anytime they want as they need it.
Yeah, I think that's normal. Because like we do unlimited PTO also, and I find myself like forcing the staff. Like we have booked vacations for people and been like, you need to take this.
Get out of here.
The
Yeah,
other thing
doctor's
that
appointments, all those kinds of things. Got to pick up
yeah.
my kids. We have team like they every day they're gone at 3 or 4 to pick up their kids from school. It's on the calendar. We know it. So we don't question any of that stuff. It's not a it's 9 to 5, but it's like, we're here to get our work done and do quality work. If you have obligations, things to do, maternity leave, whatever, we honor it and we make sure, people know that they can ask for it and take it.
So, and one of the things that we did also that I found immensely helpful. So, like, if it's a two-person team and somebody takes off, the other person's going to take on half of their responsibility. So they come back to one and a half things to do, not two
Ooh,
things. So there is a point to taking off. If it's a three-person team, it splits up into thirds. If it's a four, it splits up into fourths. So like as some of these teams get bigger, you might take a week off and only come back to 10% more work because nine other people have taken that on. And then by the same token, you know that everybody else stepped up for you and exactly where they did it. So when they take off, it's that much nicer to know that like, hey, I'm stepping up for so and so because they stepped up for me. And it really creates this good camaraderie
yeah.
because it's, a vacation is a true vacation. It's not just moving work from one day to a different day.
It's also being you have someone take off and then they respond to stuff or Slack message or email. Um, you need to you need to take the time to say, hey, stop responding. Turn your stuff off. You are off. You're fine. We got you. And once you kind of, because if not, it's easy as an owner to be like, oh, cool, Jordan's still working. Let me send
Right.
him a bunch of crap. Because you're trying to get stuff done. You got things that you're trying to accomplish. You need to say, hey, no, we got you. The whole team's got you. And just know that. And
So
the best thing is when you come back or they come back and they're like, I didn't have anything to catch up on. My inbox wasn't full. My tasks are cleared. And then they actually feel like they can take a vacation and not be concerned about it. So,
So shout out to my EA who, well, maybe shout out's not the right word. Cause I spent so many times being like, she would send me an email too late Friday, Saturday, whatever it was. I was like, stop working. This is okay. We can come back to it Monday. Then she started schedule sending the emails. So then it would be like, I'd get like 5 emails in the first 30 minutes. So she had done them for the rest of the time. And so finally I was like, no, 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 like just it's okay. Just take the time. There are no marketing emergencies. There are no coaching emergencies, right? Like when I had a criminal defense firm, there were legit emergencies and our phone was answered. But for now, like it's okay. You can respond to the voicemail on Monday. It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, again, one of our core values is urgency. So actually, last night we had a new client that we just signed, law firm out of Miami, but they haven't become a client. That's like they've signed, but no kickoff meeting, no nothing yet. So they're not even we're not doing anything for them yet. And their website was down last night, and they text me like, "Hey, our website's down." It's like, all right, let me take a look into it. Um, like, well, we haven't had a kickoff. We don't have access. It's not us, but we're here to help. I text some of my team. They responded immediately, like 8 o'clock last night, and one of our web developers got access. Their server was out of space, so
Uh,
just got rid of some old backups, back up and running. Um, but it's an emergency. But we weren't even responsible at the time. So there's times like that, but
sure.
we've eliminated so many where we used to be weekends, Sunday, Saturday, all these fires all the time, and back to running a good business, processes, systems. This just things that don't exist much anymore, and so allows you to live the life you want when you can start to eliminate those problems.
My book, Love Your Law Firm, takes my journey and gives you the practical steps that I took, as well as some things that I did to avoid. Now, in the second edition, though, we incorporate some stories from a bunch of my coaching clients, so you have a more well-rounded understanding of what it will take to run a great law firm. That being said, because I'm a lawyer and we wrote this for lawyers, I was told I have to provide a warning for the book. Reading this book could cause excessive delegation and might ultimately end up with you enjoying running your own law firm. I hope you'll check it out in the link below.
Talk to me more about that, right? Like, so obviously, owner's going to set some of this vision. The team's going to work together, get the core values. We're going to like trickle these things down, help our employees have a better life. What's the benefit coming back to us as the owner?
Well, for one, all the benefits of like watching them grow, watching them lead, watching them say, "Hey, don't worry about it. I got it."
You're such a
Um,
that was such an altruistic answer.
well, it's just there's obviously other benefits of I can take off more time.
Right.
Um, I make more money because we're making more money, we're more profitable. There's all kinds of other benefits, of course, to it. But I think if you're not interested in seeing your team grow and individuals be successful, and outside of work, we do one-on-ones every week with every single, every manager has one-on-ones with everybody every week required. And you're like, hey, try to not talk about business.
Right.
Everyone always wants to, but that's where the rewards. Hey, I just ran a marathon, or we're having another baby, or whatever it might be. So I think it's having the time and ability to even have those conversations because we're not so crushed and under the gun all the time. The chaos, you want to get rid of the chaos, right? So there's so many benefits, and then again, the culture. A players just line up. Like, oh, how are we going to hire for the position? Oh, we already got 3 applicants. Holy crap, they're all perfect. That's rewarding. And then when for us, when we sign a big law firm or we get referrals, or we hear good things about what we're doing, it's all because of the team. You know, I have
Well,
nothing. I have nothing to do with it, to be honest with you, other than setting it in motion.
sure, but it frees you up to have a life and do the things that help that motion. Like
And
it
talk to
cracks me
Jordan
up.
and go
Yeah,
to
there we go.
Nashville with him.
Well, that or jump on here the next day. I mean, it boggles my mind. So we did the 13-month cross-country road trip, and I will tell you, all of our referral sources that I thought had really well-run businesses sent us more work while we were nationwide. And all the ones I had who I thought had good jobs, but like didn't have the same structure in place, did not send us as much stuff. I think because they did not know, they did not believe that a business could operate so well without
Mm.
the owners present all the time. And meanwhile, my team's like, we had a record month because you're not here to fuck things up. And I was like, all right, cool. Hey, appreciate it. Bonuses to everybody. Great.
I still have a few clients that, no matter what, always reach out to me. And, of course, that's cool and I'll take care of it. But it's so weird when I get some of these clients that, you know, they're like, "Hey, Kevin, we want to work with you." Okay, who do we talk to in sales? Like, I used to be the salesperson. That was it. And so it's like, "Hey, talk to me," and I never
You're
hear from
like,
them again. They become a client. They don't bug me. I don't hear anything from them. It's kind of weird, but that's the way it should be, right? The ones that reach out to me, there's a problem, and they still want to come to me. That's down to a few at this point.
the amount of times where the lawyer will be like, this client said they don't want to speak to me. They want to talk to the paralegal or the legal assistant on the case. They like them more. I'm like, all right, cool, you know?
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's the mark of those core values being in place, right? It's everybody has a standard, and then you're hiring people for the unique abilities they have above the standard, and you're having clients who enjoy that.
yeah, and back to marketing and why this has a major part. Like, think about like a Chick-fil-A. Did Chick-fil-A like advertise and you see their commercials every day? Like, people go there because of the experience, and people are the marketing. Like, they flock to that place, right? So it's the same thing. Why would people want to work at your law firm or for your marketing agency? But if you go into that law firm and it's just everyone's pleasant, everyone's perfect, everyone's having a good day, everyone's excited, it's laid back, it's chill, it's not suits and ties, it's just a different experience, and they're handling your case and they're doing all the stuff they need to do. You're going to tell people about it. You're going to want to use that firm, depending on what kind of firm it is, over and over again. So, um,
Well, but the thing, so I think Chick-fil-A is a phenomenal example because they have a very different franchise model than everybody else. Like, I think you can have two Chick-fil-A's, I'm not sure, but like you have to commit to being owner operator for a certain period of time. Like, you have to spend a 40 hours a week at the Chick-fil-A, you have to be there.
hmm
And I want to be very clear. I'm not at my law firm 40 hours a week. I don't think I have to be, but it's my brand. Like, I've taken ownership of it as opposed to in a franchise. Like, this is how they're getting the person running that franchise to take ownership, to be physically present, as
Yep.
opposed to, for other
Buy your
franchises,
way in.
somebody might have 35 different Taco Bells that they're never, they've never been to any of them. They have people in place, they have the systems. Our law firms are not going to operate like the franchise, right? Like, it's going to be us. And until we get to some gigantic size, that's
Yeah.
so few and far between. So like we need that. We need our personal impact on it, whether that's our presence, our core values, our personality, that kind of stuff.
No, like right now, I could go start a law firm in Arizona. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I can own a law firm as a non-lawyer, and just with money, I'm going to buy it, and it's just going to magically happen. Put in systems and processes, but there's no substance. There's no culture. There's no reason for anyone to want to work there. So from afar, I could just buy my way in and start something. But um, the best firms I know, the owners have everything to do with it at some degree, whether who they hired or whatever they brought in to help them. But it starts with the leadership. It starts with the owners, and the owners that are completely disengaged. They don't care about the marketing. They don't care about uh, to learn about this stuff. They think it's just like a checkbox or hire an agency. They'll do all the marketing. We don't have any input. Like, no, that's not going to work. Never does.
I love that.
But then, yeah, you don't have to be there all day, every day. Once you get it to a point. But there is a way to do it, 100%. And Jordan's done it, and he's teaching a lot of other people how to do it. So, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But so much of it comes from genuineness and authenticity, right? Like, you can't have core values that are the complete opposite of what you are. Like, I cannot have a core value of everybody's going to wear a suit and dress up the whole way because I will be miserable and they will be. Like if you ever read Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh
No, I
about
have not.
Zappos. So he had a
Oh,
company before
yeah.
Zappos that he sold for, I think it was like $35 million. He's like, because one day I walked in and I realized I hate this place. He's like, I let it go so far away from my vision. And he's like, so for Zappos, I was never going to mess around. And so like you can take tours of the Zappos office and they have the whole thing. Like they've got all these recordings of people doing like 2 hour service calls for helping them change their oil. And Zappos only sells shoes. Like it's totally
Yeah.
off base, but that was like,
I've
he
heard
just
about some of these
wanted,
stories. Yeah.
yeah. And like that was his whole thing. Like he wanted to keep this ethos of, the best service company. So Amazon buys them for $1 billion. And it's like, we're not changing anything. We're buying you for this, uniqueness. We're buying you for this belief in great customer service. I like, we need to keep those things in place and they become why you are successful.
Yeah, you can't just systematize everything with no authenticity behind it, like you're saying. It's um, you need systems and processes, but you also have times where you need to go outside of that, depending on the situation for the client or whatever it may be. So, um,
But I
yeah,
always find
it can't be robotic, right?
right. But I always find the more it comes back to who the owner truly is, the more that the business is an extension of them, the more you hire people who give you ideas back that you love, who execute all those small moments in the way that you want them to be handled. Like it's all genuineness, right? So stop trying to be the firm down the street, become the uniquely you thing.
Yeah, and Firm's doing some cool stuff out there that different niches and different just things that they're doing is really cool that I've been seeing. Which I think COVID and remote work, all that stuff's allowed for a lot of different things to happen, and there's no excuse to be different. Um, and I think that's the thing too. Like, oh, I can't compete with anybody because this market's saturated. Um, it's all about brand and you. Like you're different 100% than anyone else. So some clients might like you and some won't, but every firm's got its kind of differences, and you have to lean into those and be different.
I love it. All right, so let me talk about our next guest. We'll come back for final nuggets of wisdom to biggest takeaways. Next week, we've got Charlie Mann on. Charlie works with law firm owners to create impact and wealth through their practices. He's got over 15 years of experience working in, for, with, and in law firms. Some of his clients have said things like Charlie has the rare ability to synthesize a broad scope of information and experience into actionable items that spur business growth. And Charlie's the best in class. Can't thank him enough for always bringing out the best in me. If you listen to his suggestions and implement them, you will soar. If you know me, you know I love action and implementation. So clearly that's why we've got Charlie on. Super excited for that chat next week, but we still have Kevin here. So
Charlie is
if
awesome.
there we
So
go.
yeah,
See, did you
yeah.
write one of those testimonials? Is that a
I don't think so, but yeah, Charlie's great, and always love listening to him, and he's got a lot of good things to share.
yeah? All right. So that being said, anything we missed that we want to cover?
Um, I don't think. I mean, we definitely covered a lot of different things there. I think to sum it up, I think it comes back to being authentic. Uh, you setting the core value, your values have to align with the companies. You can't just make up stuff that because you think it's going to be good or you saw another company use it. Like really take the time, and it's going to take. It won't be like the first draft is going to be perfect. Like as you go, you start to realize that's not quite right. Maybe that wasn't quite the perfect thing, and that's fine to edit. Um, but really get them
But
to where you're like, this is who we are. This is what we
right.
believe. And some people are going to want to follow you, and those are going to be your A players that come in and say, "Hey, I believe in this too. I want to help," and they're going to do anything they can to make that happen. And that's when you create the mental ownership, and that's when you create an amazing culture that makes everything easier.
Well, that's the biggest thing for me is you make sure you want the success that you might get. Make sure you want the outcome that you might get. Let's talk about that.
That's a good one.
Um,
Yeah,
because like I talk to so many people like, oh, there's so and so's got this $1 million firm or whatever the size is, and this and that, the other. I'm like, okay, but like, have you talked to them about what their life is like? Have you talked to them about what it took to get there? Have you talked about what Morgan and Morgan has a $1 million a day marketing budget.
yeah.
So like you could sit here and say, I'd love to have 1,000 attorney plus firm, but like, do you have the ability to throw $1 million out there every single day? And obviously they didn't do it on day one, but like really think through these things because I talk to so many firm owners that are on the path towards a great potential outcome, but it's not remotely what they want. They're doing it because somebody else told them this was what they should do.
Yeah, I think most people and get into business and um the the goals and stuff that they have are not necessarily they've not taken the time to be like, what, let me just imagine myself accomplishing that. Now, what does that look like? And do I really want that? So, and I know a lot of folks, I got I had two clients that started in the same month with us about 2 years ago. Both criminal defense firms, both about the same age, um, and two different markets. And this one guy, he's a client of mine. They're both clients of ours still. Kevin, I'm opening 5 offices. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 20 offices in 5 states in 5 years. And I want to be like the Morgan & Morgan of criminal defense. And he was just like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, all right, like, let's roll,
Yeah.
Same other gentleman, same path, same age, basically. I'd like to grow, but I got family, I got kids. I really want to have time. I don't want the firm to run my life. And so while we want cases and we want some growth, we're not trying to go crazy here. Like, that was his. And so totally opposite directions. And that's totally cool. Like, but they both, I believe, knew what they wanted, and they had taken the time to figure that out. And that's the most important thing. No, neither one of them are better than the other. So, and I can tell you this: the guy that wants 20 offices in 5 years, he's a grinder. Like, he's bust his butt. He's got kids, he's got a wife, he does a lot of things, but totally different lives that they're
Sure.
definitely leading. So,
And same practice, and can do a great job. One of them will do a great job for 20 clients. One of them will do a great job for 20,000 clients, but like, just have that cohesiveness and consistency through everything that you do.
but yeah, to your point, imagine yourself with that goal accomplished, and do you really want to be there? Do I want 1,000 employees and go, would that, really put yourself there? But man, I wouldn't know any of them. What does that mean for all kinds of other things that come along with that?
Right.
Do I want to be that big? I don't know, right? So don't just go on TikTok and see a reel and go, oh, that guy's got a yacht and a boat and all this other crap. Like, what do you really want? Do you even want a boat? Maybe you don't even like the water, But you just assume you have to have these things. Like, really figure out, is that what you want or not? And then start to put goals in place that are like actually like life-changing goals.
Love it. All right. So, for anybody smart enough to want to hear more of what you got to say, follow the Managing Partners podcast. Otherwise, reach out to Array Digital. What's the best way for them to get in touch?
Yeah, you can go to arraydigital.com. You can also search Kevin Daisey. My last name's got an I in it, so DAIS, or sorry, DAISEY.
Oh,
If you search for that, you can
it
find
has an
me.
I in it too.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. It the word Daisy always has an I. Mine has an E before the Y. So, but if you search that, I'm on every platform under that name, so you can find me. Reach out, send me a DM, LinkedIn, Instagram. I will respond. It won't be some other person. So,
Wonderful. Awesome. Kevin, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you to everybody who joined us to watch and listen. You'll enjoy this week's newsletter about how to change anything, and then we'll see you back here next week for Charlie Mann's episode. In the meantime, find those core values, put this stuff in place, like, really take the action from what we're saying here. That's how you get the outcome you truly want.
Jordan, thank you so much.